Joining us for Hope TV Newswatch on this 5th day of November 2021. I hope your week went well and that you're doing okay. My name is Grace Wangui and our sign language interpreter tonight is Boniface Mureithi. Let's begin. Now, former Laikipia North MP Matthew Lempukel Lekedime has been sentenced to 1 year in prison over assault. Lempukel was accused of assaulting the current Laikipia North MP Sarah Kerere on November 21st, 2016 at Harambee House in Nairobi at the office of the late former Cabinet Secretary Joseph Nkaiseri. Senior Principal Magistrate Helen Onkwani in her ruling found Lempukel guilty and sentenced him to 1 year imprisonment without the option of a fine. Dickens Luvanda begins our bulletin.
Former Laikipia North Member of Parliament Matthew Lempukel has been jailed for 1 year after he was found guilty of assaulting her political rival, Sarah Kerere.
Yes.
Nairobi Principal Magistrate Helen Onkwani found that the former lawmaker indeed assaulted the current Laikipia North Member of Parliament Sarah Kerere back in November 2016 and that he did not produce evidence that showed he was indeed the one assaulted by Kerere, which could have given the court an opportunity to acquit him. In his defense, Lempukel produced a medical report which showed that he was admitted in Karen Hospital, but the report showed he was suffering from high blood pressure and there was no indication of assault. According to court papers, Lempukel willfully and unlawfully assaulted Sarah Kerere by slapping her on the left cheek and also kicked her on the lower abdomen, thereby occasioning her actual bodily harm. The court observed that due to the rising cases of violence in the country, the accused deserves the sentence without fine.
Biased case. It's unfortunate for this country to have such a ruling at this time. The complainant is a woman. The judge is a woman, the prosecutor is a woman. This is a women issue. That's why that we have the ground to appeal this case. And we are going to appeal it, and I'm sure we are going to win it. This is about politics. It is the relation because of politics. The incumbent MP knows that he will not come back, and I'm a threat. So they are using all ways to make sure that I will not be in the ballot. That is the issue of this case. It's about 2022 elections.
The assault reportedly happened at the office of the late former Interior Cabinet Secretary Joseph Nkaiseri. Dickens Luvanda, Hope TV Newswatch.
Thank you, Dickens, for that report. Now, the Albinism Society of Kenya, in partnership with the National Democratic Institute, have on Friday converged for the first ever annual County Representatives Forum to reverberate their continued commitment towards improving the lives of all persons with albinism by launching an annual County Representatives Forum. Speaking during the event, nominated Senator Isaac Mwaura said that they have the numbers to contest for elective positions in the forthcoming 2022 elections, and it is about time their voices are heard. Kennedy Kimani with more on this story.
The Albinism Society of Kenya have on Friday launched a formal and structured system of governance in an effort to strengthen institutional structure that utilizes county representatives in devolving the services to persons with albinism at the grassroots.
Of the Albinism Society of Kenya, we are here to add the voice about our existence and to say we are there, and we are calling upon county governments to now start working with the county representatives to ensure the rights of persons with albinism in each and every of the 47 counties are fulfilled.
Given the weight of prejudice facing Kenyans living with albinism, a few have succeeded in its rough and tumble politics.
Don't just ask.
Nominated Senator Isaac Mwaura, who has been fairly successful in politics, has challenged people living with albinism to vie for elective positions in the forthcoming 2022 elections, since it is one of the ways their voices are going to be heard as they champion for their rights.
We are encouraging persons with albinism to offer themselves for elective and nominative positions. Yes. Yes. Isn't it? Yes. We have had representation in the National Assembly. We have had representation in the Senate. And when we try to speak the truth, some of us were shown the door. But we are happy, we are still in court. God is the best judge. Yes. Isn't it? Yes. And so anyone with albinism who wants to become an MP an MCA, a senator, a governor, a women rep, even president, the time is now.
The Albinism Society of Kenya has however raised an issue concerning the 100 million shillings set aside for the National Albinism Sunscreen Program, which is designed to caution persons with albinism from the effects of harmful sun rays, alleging that those responsible for the program are misusing the funds, with some of them selling the products to them instead of distributing them for free.
Information about NASIP is not well disseminated among persons with albinism and their caregivers.
The entire program mostly benefits about 3,169, that is 33% beneficiaries, meaning that 77% of PWAs are not benefiting from it.
ASK are now recommending the National Council for Persons Living with Disabilities to adopt a result-based management approach in the management of the National Albinism Sunscreen Program and promote evidence-based and data-driven planning to ensure access to service to all persons with albinism. Kennedy Kimani, Hope TV Newswatch, Nairobi.
President Uhuru Kenyatta has called upon Kenyans to work closely with security agencies to ensure the country remains peaceful and secure. Speaking during the pass-out ceremony of the Kenya Defence Forces recruits at the Moi Barracks Recruits Training School in Eldoret, Uhuru lauded the KDF for their service delivery and congratulated the cadets for the successful completion of their training. Tess Njenga now reports.
Presiding over this year's Kenya Defence Forces Recruit Pass-Out Parade at their training school in the outskirts of Eldoret town, President Uhuru Kenyatta has challenged the new KDF soldiers to be outstanding in their service and conduct in line with the long tradition of excellence associated with the Kenyan military.
I congratulate each and every one of you for successfully completing your basic training. You are joining the ranks of our defense forces at a very consequential time in our nation's history, a time when our sovereignty and the inviolability of our borders are subjected to unprecedented threats. In response to these conventional as well as asymmetrical threats, the military that you are formally joining today is one which has experienced tremendous enhancement of its capabilities, capacity, conditions of service, as well as operational readiness over the last decade.
While highlighting KDF's success in peacekeeping missions, President Uhuru said that the military had earned honor, respect, and admiration across the globe.
Since the dawn of our republic, the Kenya Defence Forces have secured a sterling reputation as the unfailing guardians of Kenya's sovereignty, territory, values, and our way of life. It is also notable that KDF has been a force for good in peace and security in our region and beyond. This tradition of excellence, honor, and duty, as well as professionalism, distinguishes the KDF and raises our military well above its contemporaries.
The head of state reiterated the government's commitment to continue investing in KDF and other national security agencies to effectively deal with existing and emerging national security threats. On Tuesday, Chief of Defence Forces General Robert Kibochi launched KDF's radio and television stations when he officially opened the newly constructed Strategic Communications Office at the Defence Headquarters in Nairobi. The new office block has a state-of-the-art, fully equipped television and radio studios for various productions that will enable continuous flow of information to Kenyans and the wider audience.
We have invested heavily in upscaling our aerial, maritime, and land equipment. We have added new bases, bolstered the size of our force by additional recruitment, improved the remuneration and benefits of personnel, and adopted the training and operational practices demanded by a fluid security environment.
President Uhuru, who was accompanied by First Lady Margaret Kenyatta to the colorful ceremony, advised the soldiers to be worth emulation in and outside their camps. The ceremony was also attended by several senior government and military officials, led by Defense Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa, Uasin Gishu Governor Jackson Mandago, and Chief of the Defense Forces Robert Kibochi. Graduates who excelled in different aspects of their training were awarded. For Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Tess Njenga.
Thank you, Tess, for that report. Now, civilians with a tendency to carry weapons in Laikipia County have a reason to worry after a ban was imposed on carrying weapons in major towns and shopping centers in Laikipia County. Laikipia County Police Commander John Nyoike, who spoke during a security sensitization meeting held at Mount Mary Village in Laikipia North, said the ban takes effect immediately and anyone found with weapons, including knives, risks being arrested and prosecuted in court. The ban, he says, is a way to tame increasing cases of attacks and threats amongst individuals in trading centers, among them Rumuruti, Olmoran and Dol.
Hii watoto ambao wanapiga wengine na mawe na nini na kuwa na kishwa gumu wamesaliwa na wamama na wasee. Sisi wamama tukijifunza, tufunze watoto wetu kukaa na tabia nzuri, waige mifano mizuri. Tuanzishe hii jambo upya, angalau tuone kama tutairekebisha.
Baadhi ya wenye wako na ng'ombe ambaye wanapeleka kulisha kwa mashamba ambaye sio yao. Wewe shamba kama si yako usipeleke ng'ombe huko. Hapo tunaona vizuri kabisa. Kama shamba si yako usifanye namna gani? Inaitangwa private land.
Watoto wasomeshwe na ujue mtoto yako ana uwezo ya kukalia hapa akiwa county commissioner. Ako na uwezo kukalia hapo akiwa mheshimiwa wa area hii. Lakini ukisema sasa wewe ulivike na ile maisha huko, mtoto asisome, avurugane na wengine, akose adabu, utafaulu lini?
Now to this next political story, Deputy President William Ruto has urged Kenyans to reject leaders who bank on tribal politics to ascend to power. Speaking in Cheptais, Sirisia and Bumula in Bungoma County on Friday, during his tour of the Western region, Ruto said he was optimistic that the outcome of the 2022 general elections will not be determined by politics based on tribalism. The Deputy President at the same time said the country's leadership in 2022 will be decided by Kenyans and not brokers.
Tumejiunga na chama ya UDA, chama ya mahasla, chama ya kazi ni kazi, chama ya Kenya mzima. Mimi nauliza nyinyi watu wa Mount Elgon, tafadhali kwa heshima, sote mkubali tuungane tuwe watu wa umoja. Mnakubali jameni? Tuungane. Kwa sababu umoja ni nguvu. Kwa chama ya UDA
meungana karibu 5 ati wanataka wapambane na William Ruto. Nataka niwapatie usia moja kwamba William Ruto ako na network ya mahaslas milioni 45 wa Kenya hii. Na hao kama wanajipanga watu 5, Muswae anasema watawezana kweli? Watawezana kweli? Kwa hivyo mimi nawapatia usia hiyo, How they will do that information is not my business.
Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i has assured women candidates of protection ahead of the 2022 general elections, even as he announced deployment of security personnel to quell inter-clan feuds in Marsabit County. 6 people were reportedly killed in Marsabit, the perennial hostilities pitting some clans against others. Speaking at Nyakemincha Secondary School in Nyamira County, the CS urged leaders and the administration in Marsabit to engage the warring clans in dispute resolution with a view to restore calm. According to the CS, this time round, the security apparatus under his docket will focus on the security of women aspiring for various political seats during the election campaigns.
Tumekaribia uchaguzi, tumeanza sasa kujisajili kila mtu. Tafadhali naomba tukae kwa amani. Na ndugu zetu na dada zetu wote wale ambao wanataka kuingia katika uwanja wa siasa, wale ambao mnawania viti pale mbalimbali, tunataka kudumisha demokrasia. Demokrasia sio kudhulumu mtu yeyote. Demokrasia ni kusema mambo yako na yule mwingine aseme yake na huyu mwingine aseme yake. Wananchi ndio wapiga kura, waamue ni nani watafuata. We want the real will of the people to be heard and to be felt in the country. Kwa hivyo sisi zote katika wizara yetu, kwanza sisi kwa sababu tunasimamia usalama, tutahakikisha kwamba tumeweka usalama wa kutosha, hasa kwa mambo ya akina mama. Nilisema wakati mwingine, wakati nilikuwa Limuru pale, kwamba mwaka huu tutazingatia sana maslahi ya wagombea uchaguzi ambao ni akina mama. Tuwasaidie, wasithulumiwe, wasisurutishwe kufanya jambo lolote, tuhakikishe wako sawa. Kuna shida kidogo ya usalama pande ile ya Samburu na Turkana. Tayari tumeongeza askari pande ile, kwa sababu shida ya wizi wa mifugo imekuwa pande hiyo wakati wote. Lakini sasa tunajaribu kuwazungumzia viongozi wa pande ile wafanye kazi yao pia, wafanye juhudi kuongea na wananchi, kuwaeleza that killing each other is not a solution. It doesn't help. If there are challenges of resources, we share them and work together. Pande ile ya Marsabit, where we had a problem yesterday and we lost 6 people. It's the same problem in the clan challenges, which have become toxic and violent. We have deployed resources, but bullets and guns do not bring peace. What brings peace is all of us coming together and living in peace. Tuongee sisi wote kama wananchi, ama tuongee sisi zote kama viongozi, tukijali maslahi ya wananchi wetu wale tuko nao hapa. And we will continue to do this. Our president is committed to keeping peace and stability in our country. Na sisi wote tutafanya hiyo kazi.
Let's now take on a fast commercial break here on Hope TV Newswatch. We'll be back with more stories. Keep it Hope TV.
Furahia na Optiven.
Dad, gari mpya.
Umetoa wapi gari mpya?
Optiven wametusort.
Optiven?
Nunua any of our value-added properties ama redeem installment ya property yako. Kwa kila malipo ya 10,000 unapata 1 entry point kwenye draw ya Furahia na Optiven promotion. Airtime kushindaniwa kila siku, holiday kila wiki, shinda ploti na gari kila mwezi, na grand prize ya Mercedes-Benz C180. Ni rahisi, buy ama redeem na ushinde na Furahia na Optiven.
Thank you for staying with us. Now, Principal Secretary, State Department for University Education and Research, Ambassador Simon Abukwesi, has underscored the need to give women equal opportunities to pursue and thrive in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEM careers to narrow the gender gap. Abukwesi said women were continually being excluded from participating fully in science and technical fields, as well as being underrepresented in STEM STEM in university courses and careers that were male-dominated, speaking virtually on Thursday while opening the 6th International Conference for Women in Science Without Borders at the University of Embu. The PA said STEM education was key for preparing students for the in-demand STEM careers of tomorrow.
As men and women in science, we need to re-examine our role in coming up with local solutions for the problems that afflict our societies. They should be informed by the recent realization after the COVID-19 pandemic struck that relying on other countries to provide solutions is no longer viable because they have their own challenges to deal with first before helping others. We need to do more in research, innovation, and linking research to real issues and the problems that affect our people. We need to reach out to new partners to urgently help us to develop capacity in researchers and the institutional linkages so that we can produce solutions to our own problems. We will need to re-engage and see how best and how fast we can start making an impact outside the laboratory. If we can pull together and generate renewed momentum and research in the areas that we have identified in the conference sub-themes, then we can reignite enthusiasm for more participation in STEM fields. This is because everyone will benefit from the fruits accruing from our research and innovation.
Women leaders across the country have criticized the ongoing practice of negotiated democracy, while elders, especially those from pastoralist communities, hold meetings and agree on how to distribute political positions ahead of the general elections, decisions which are usually unanimously arrived at by men. The women leaders who spoke during the 6th edition of the annual Indigenous Women Conference in Isiolo County lament that the act has a way of locking them out of leadership positions.
Hiyo process yenye imeendelea kwa mwaka 4 hijaguzisha mama hata mmoja mahali popote. Unakuta kwamba zote wanasema kwamba dini hairuhusu wamama kukaa kwa hiyo mkutano. Tradition ya Kiborana, especially Borana Council of Elders, wanasema kwamba wamama hawana nafasi kwa hiyo mkutano. Kweli wakati akina baba yetu na mababu zetu hiyo ilikuwa, lakini sasa hii ni wakati mpya, tuko na katiba yenye inaruhusu wamama pia sauti yao isikike na inclusion ifanyike.
Tusiangalie wamama tukawaweke ndani ya hii negotiated process, sababu haitamwezesha mjue. Wamama wenyewe wanajua ni mama mgani ana bidii, ni mama mgani amesimama na sisi, mama mgani huwa anatutetea wakati wa shida, na watajua huyu mama akiingia katika uongozi anaweza badilisha maisha ya kila mtu.
Kwa hivyo kina mama, hata nyinyi mkuwe tayari kusema ukweli, tuambie wazee wetu tunawaheshimu sana. Nyinyi ni elders, mnatuamulia mara nyingi, lakini kuna mahali ikifika lazima pia wajumuishe kina nani? Kina mama, kwa sababu vile mambo inaenda ni kama chakula yote itapakuliwa, wazee peke yao wakule, wamama waachwe nje.
Mama akitaka kusimama governor apate kura moja ni sawa. Akitaka kusimama MP apate kura moja ni sawa. Lakini si ku negotiate. Awatuiti, awatuulizi, wana handpick. Hatutaki. Wacha sisi wamama tuseme ni huyu aanguke.
Coast Regional Commissioner John Elungata has ordered security agencies to launch a large-scale anti-smuggling crackdown across the region. Elungata directed security personnel and the Kenya Revenue Authority offices along the Kenya-Tanzania border in Kwale County to do a thorough inspection of goods. He said for effective crackdown on smuggling and contraband goods, a joint multi-agency anti-smuggling operation will be launched. Elungata urged border officials in Vanga and Shimoni border points to crack down on rampant smuggling of contraband goods from Tanzania. According to him, tighter border checks will discourage smuggling, enhance revenue collection, and ensure the economy does not suffer as a result.
Tafadhali, tusikubali haya mambo kuendelea. Tusikubali haya mambo kuendelea. Yanatuaibisha, yanatutia dosari, yanaharibu nchi yetu. Unajua ports kama hizi ndogo ndogo ndio walanguzi upenda kuzitumia. Hawapendi kuja Mombasa, wanakuja hapa, wanavusha mizigo, wanapandisha kwa malori, wanaenda kwa barabara. Sasa mbona tuanze kuweka kuweka roadblocks nini, na hali roadblock ya kwanza ni OCS hapa na mtu wake wa Kere. What's the point? Tungependa tustawishe mji huu wa Shimoni, tujenge port itufaidishe sisi. Tusikubali kabisa haya mambo mengine ya kona.
Tunakaa na taxpayers wetu, tunawasikia problems yenu, and we also encourage you, tunawafundisha vile kulipa ushuru. Hiyo ndio kazi yetu, hasa hapa Mombasa. Manake kuna biashara mingi sana inafanyika baharini, na tukifanya kazi na neighboring countries, Pemba, Dar es Salaam, mali ya ingia Kenya from other countries, ikifika hapa lazima tulipe ushuru. Lakini saa zingine kidogo tunapigana kidogo smuggling, labda mtu hataki kulipa ushuru, anajaribu kuhepa kidogo. Ndio tuko na our officers. We have a customs office here at Vanga. My friend, can you stand? Nimesikia lalamishi moja about pikipiki ama ile motorcycle ilipatikana ikibeba mali. Nitaangalia, I promise you, because ile kitu tunaangalia at the goods ni mali.
Nataka niseme within 2 weeks tutaita baraza ya wenu wale wanafanya biashara, and we take you through the rates of taxes and how to do business and how to ensure you comply ndio ufanye biashara yako iende vizuri. Sawa? Na tutasema ushuru ni hii kwa hii, you can do this business, you can make more money on this. Hiyo tutafanya, because biashara ndio tunapata ushuru. If there is no business, we collect nothing. Kama ina nawiri, it's good for all of us.
The county government of Kilifi has commenced the distribution of relief food and water in drought-ravaged parts of the county. Governor Amason Kingi said on Thursday that his government had deployed resources under the drought response docket to assist affected families with water and relief food following the unprecedented drought. The governor said this at the Ganze Sub-County Administrator's office, where he distributed 300 bags of maize and 100 bags of beans. Ganze, Magarini, Kilifi and Rabai sub-counties are the worst hit by the drought after total crop failure for the last 3 years. Livestock have also started dying due to lack of pasture and water.
Na athari kubwa ambayo imeletwa na mambo ya climate change ni mambo ya ukame. Katika Kilifi hii kuna sehemu za Magarini, za Ganze, za Kaloleni ambazo zimeathirika pakubwa sana na ukame huu. Na ndiposa kama serikali ya kaunti tumeweka mikakati ya kuna kwamba angalau wakazi wa Ganze na wale wote ambao ni waathiriwa wa ukame huu wamepata bega la kuegemea wakati huu mgumu. Kwa hivyo tuna mipangilio ya kupeleka maji na pia tuna mipangilio ya kupeleka chakula kwa wale waathirika. Pia hivyo nataka nishukuru serikali ya kitaifa, manake pia nayo imejitolea kupitia Wizara ya Devolution. Pia nayo kushikana mikono na serikali ya kaunti kuona kwamba wakati huu wa ukame angalau wakazi wa Kilifi na sehemu zote za Kenya ambazo zinatapatapa kwa sababu ya ukame, angalau wananchi wamesaidikika.
Hali ilivyo kwa sasa niseme ya kwamba hali ni ngumu, hasa maeneo ya Magarini, Ganze, sehemu za Rabai na pia sehemu kidogo ya Kaloleni pia.
Now to our COVID-19 update, the country has recorded 26 new coronavirus cases from a sample size of 6,267 tested in the last 24 hours. The positivity rate stands at 1.2%, the total confirmed cases rising to 253,737. According to a statement from the Ministry of Health, 46 patients have recovered, pushing the total recoveries to 247,202. Fortunately, no patient has succumbed to the disease. For admissions, a total of 422 patients are currently admitted in various health facilities. Meanwhile, a total of 5,546,979 Kenyans have been vaccinated. Let's now take another short commercial break. We'll be back with more stories. Keep it Hope TV.
Dad, gari mpya.
Umetoa wapi gari mpya?
Optiven wametusort.
Optiven?
Nunua any of our value-added properties ama redeem installment ya property yako. Kwa kila malipo ya 10,000 unapata 1 entry point kwenye draw ya furahia na Optiven promotion. Airtime kushindaniwa kila siku, holiday kila wiki, shinda ploti na gari kila mwezi na grand prize ya Mercedes-Benz C180. Ni rahisi, buy ama redeem na ushinde na furahia na Optiven.
Our Christian life is not just about God always stepping in when you are in trouble. But sometimes you need to go through the valley of the shadow of death, and God will say, angels, stand away. He must go through that. She must go through that. Because out of this would come something greater and more beautiful.
Thank you for staying with us. Now, pension fund trustees and administrators have been urged to show greater accountability to members by ensuring they have access to the right messages. Speaking at the official opening of a 3-day pension trustee seminar, Zamara Group CEO Sandip Raichura pointed out that adequate member communication were the greatest failures within the pension schemes. On his part, the Retirement Benefits Authority RBA Chief Executive Officer Nzomo Mutuku, however, noted that there was need for continuous training of scheme trustees on risk management and possible impact and likely changes in the pension sectors as a result of the COVID-19 crisis. The Pension Trustees Seminar is a 3-day event that has brought together various stakeholders within and without the industry to unpack the challenges facing the sector.
And have those conversations with employers to say that how do we have better design schemes that will ensure that we have good outcomes for people in their retirement. Because the statistics suggest that the average Kenyan, when he or she retires, is going home with a pension of only between 30 to 35% of what they were earning before retirement. Whereas ideally, so that somebody can have the same standard of living, you would want them to have a pension of between 70 to 80% of what they were earning just before retirement.
4 or 5 tax proposals. And even last year we had around 4 or 5 tax proposals, which we submitted to Treasury. We went there and explained to them very well, but they did not take them up. I think we have not given up, we have brought them back again. And this is where we also need industry to help us. When this goes to Parliament, it's an opportunity also to see whether some of these things can be brought at the level of Parliament.
UAP Old Mutual has embarked on a tripartite agreement with SME Support Center, SSC, and Kenbright to underwrite a customized financial solution for SMEs. The cover provides life insurance, critical illness insurance, permanent disability, as well as a funeral cover, and aims to reach more than 10,000 SMEs in 3 years. The partnership will see SME Support Center enhance its current engagement with SMEs as it guides them in starting up, growing, and protecting their business.
But I think the key focus for us here is what innovation, what solutions are we taking to the SMEs market? So if we can grow the SMEs, if these businesses can thrive because of our partnership with them, if they can become successful and transit from being SMEs into big corporations, for me, that's what will be success.
The partnership is extremely important, it's very timely, and we are very excited to be part of this partnership. For us, like I said, we will have to rely on Kenbright and Old Mutual because they are the providers of the insurance. And for us, it's an added benefit and value to our members.
Of success is having 10,000 SMEs signed up on this plan. And the second, and what that success will look like is if we're able to upsell other products like healthcare, motor insurance, and other pension business to the same SMEs.
As part of Equity's 35 million tree planting initiative, the bank, in partnership with Shambarare Technical Training College, Ingoste Secondary School, Chebusi Secondary School, and Luanda Secondary School, has planted 13,000 indigenous and exotic tree seedlings in Kakamega County. Since the launch of the bank's campaign, over 87,900 trees have been planted in Kakamega County so far. Kakamega branch manager Peter Kwoyo took the opportunity to advise education institutions to take on the use of clean energy in activities such as cooking to reduce deforestation.
Wanafunzi, makofi. Manager wa banga amepanda mti hapa.
In 2019, Equity Bank was celebrating its 35 years of existence. And the bank made a decision to plant 1 million trees for every year that it existed. What we are doing today is part of the 35 million trees that we'll be planting. In Kakamega County, we are going to plant 13,000 trees today in 4 schools. This being just the first school that we are starting off with. And we believe by the end of the day, we shall have made our contribution towards achieving the government target of 10%. We are targeting schools which have they have space and are willing to help us tender the ceilings so that we ensure that we achieve 100% growth. We don't want a scenario where we plant trees, then a few years later they all dried up. And that's why before we plant, we engage the school administration to help us achieve that. Majorly, institutions use trees as firewood. We have a solution that will ensure that these trees are not cut down because we are migrating institutions to clean energy. What we have in mind is we want to start using gas or solar. We have service providers which we can easily link with the institution with, and should there be need for finances, we are willing to finance.
Lengo kuu la siku ya leo ni upanzi wa miti. Na vile nimewaambia mwanzo, mimi nilisoma mahali hapa pamoja na wenzangu ambao unawaona nyuma yangu, na nimefurahia kukua mahali hapa na kuweza kusaidiana katika kumobilize watu ambao wako around pamoja na wanafunzi ili tukaweze kupanda miti, na kwa sababu wote tunajua umuhimu wa miti na itaweza kutusaidia na kizazi kijacho.
Equity Bank, miche ambayo imetupatia miti tutaitunza. Shule ina maji, tutamwagilia. Watoto wako agriculture, tutafanya agroforest hapa mzuri sana, na we shall not let you down.
The Kenya Revenue Authority, KRA, has recorded an impressive performance of 108.5% after it collected 154.383 billion shillings in revenue in the month of October 2021 against a target of 142.3 billion shillings. This brings their growth to 23.2% in the Q2 of the financial year 2021-2022. Cumulatively, for the period between July and October 2021, KRA collected 631.1 billion shillings against a target of 603.93 billion shillings, translating to a growth of 28.3% and a surplus of 27 billion shillings. In a statement sent to newsrooms, the authority expressed optimism that sustained compliance efforts will continue to yield positive outcomes for the country. Now for some sporting action, Qatari side Al Sadd has confirmed that head coach Xavi Hernandez is free to move to former club Barcelona. In a brief statement, Sadd confirmed that an agreement had been made with Barcelona for the release of the former midfielder, who is expected to immediately take over as the manager of the side, as Al Sadd administration has agreed on Xavi's move to Barcelona after the payment of the release clause stipulated in the contract. Xavi expressed his desire to go to Barcelona at this particular time because of the critical stage his hometown club is going through. Xavi has enjoyed a strong start to his managerial career in Qatar, picking up 7 honours in total, including the Amir Cup 2 weeks ago. Old Trafford plays host to a highly anticipated Premier League derby, the early kickoff, as Manchester United welcome Manchester City to the Theatre of Dreams. 2 places and 3 points separate the bitter rivals in the table at present. Chelsea will be bidding to make it 8 straight wins in all competitions when they continue their Premier League campaign at home to Burnley, as Crystal Palace and Wolverhampton Wanderers will both endeavour to build an impressive victory in tomorrow afternoon's clash at Selhurst Park. Antonio Conte's first Premier League game in charge of Tottenham Hotspur takes place on Sunday, with Everton lying in wait at Goodison Park, as Arsenal will aim to stretch their unbeaten run across all competitions to 10 matches when they welcome Watford to the Emirates. And that sports news brings us to the end of this live broadcast. Thank you for keeping me company, and thank you for all who made this broadcast a success. My name is Grace Wangui, and our sign language interpreter has been Boniface Murithi. Do have a happy weekend, good night, and enjoy the rest of your programming. Bye-bye.